Hello everyone, I'm teacher Winnie. Today we'll discuss on Physics SPM Trial 2024 for Kedah paper 2. Let's look at questions 1. So questions 1 is a Form 5 topic on this nuclear fission or fusion punya topic, nuclear energy. So a nuclear reaction is represented by the following equations. What is the type of reaction shown on above equation? So to know, to understand, are they fission or fusion? We look at their this element that involve. So in this context, if you see the number is small, automatically they are towards the idea of combine. So combine, the idea is actually called fusion. Okay, if you were to have like uranium being split by a neutron, then become krypton, all this, then they normally have a big nuclear number and proton number, then it will become fission. Okay, then how do you differentiate fission, fusion? Fission, I say split off. Okay, fusion, you the idea of union. Okay, so hopefully you all will not confuse these two type of reaction. Okay, so therefore the answer for this A will be nuclear fusion. So next, complete the above equation. Okay, so this is like a chemical equation. You just balance up. So 2 plus 3 is how much? 5. Then you have 1 here, so therefore 5 minus 1, you get what? 4. So this is how we get the answer. Okay, tick for the correct statement that explain the above reaction. So just now already mentioned, fusion means combine, the idea of combine. Okay, so we read through the statement. Heavy nucleus split into 2 lighter. So this is actually fission, not fusion. And 2 lighter nuclide combine to form a heavy nucleus. Yes, so the answer is the second one. So you just follow the questions requirement. If they ask you tick, you tick. They ask you cross, you cross. What is the condition that allowed this reaction to occur? Now, generally, fusion is a bit hard to occur compared to fission. That's why the nuclear reactor, they are still using nuclear fission as the idea to produce the energy. Because for fusion to occurs, right, you need to join the 2 nucleus where they are actually same charge, or they are positive. So you want to join 2 same charge is actually hard because same charge supposedly repel. Okay, so that's why if you want this to happen, you need to apply a very high temperature or high velocity nuclide, or even high pressure also can. Okay, so therefore we finish the first question regarding the idea on nuclear physics. So now we move on to number 2. Diagram 2 shows a car of mass 420 kg down a cliff road with 30 degrees. And then the frictional force exerted is actually 2060.1 Newton. So first thing, what is meant by frictional force? So for your understanding, paper 2, generally each question normally about 4 to 5, they may ask you about the definitions. So no choice, you have to understand it and memorize it. And it's actually the key concept on that particular topic as well. So frictional force is what? Force that oppose acted force or oppose the thrust. If you want to be more complete, you can say between 2 surface. Okay. Then next, on diagram, sketch the component of weight of the car parallel to the inclined plane with label WX, and then weight of car perpendicular to the inclined plane WY. So actually this idea is under the context of resolution of a force. Okay, so before I label, we jot down some important idea first. So just now we say the frictional force, the value is 2060.1. 2060.1. So this one needed on the calculation later on. Okay, so now teacher show you how you actually resolve a force. So generally under 1.2, the idea when we resolve a force, we actually will resolve a force with that angle. But then if the inclined plane context, I always tell students we are resolving the weight. So how do you draw the force which are perpendicular to each other is, firstly, you draw it parallel to the plane. Now, some students may find it a bit hard or not sure what to do. So another best way, I always tell students, you draw a cross on the object. Draw a cross on the object on the inclined plane, like this reference. So easier for you to redraw the component which are perpendicular to each other. So we are resolving the weight. Okay, so now I'm using red color. So we are resolving the blue force weight into the one that parallel to the inclined plane and perpendicular to the plane. Okay, so this is the two that they want us to draw. Parallel for W, X, and then this one is W, Y. Then you just label, then you get 1 marks. Then part 2, calculate the resultant force that is parallel to the inclined plane. So to get the resultant force, we have to focus on this part. I try to highlight. We're going to see what happened to this part. So the force that acted on the plane, as you can see, you have what? Frictional force. Now, other than that, you have this Wx. Okay, so how do we get the idea of Wx? So resolution of force, the idea is like that. You need to know the angle near to the force being resolved. Okay, so this 30 degree is also this 30 degree. Now, any of you find a bit confused, okay, I just prove it so that you know that this is 30. So as you know, this is a right angle, agree? Therefore, what is this angle? 60 ma. But then in between the two rate force is perpendicular or 90 degree. That's why I get back 31. Just to prove that you know that this angle is always located there. Now, why I need to know the angle there? Again, if you always follow teacher's idea, I actually guided about resolution of force, right? The angle that touch which component, that component will be cos. So it's easier for you to like straight away identify which one cos, which one sine. Of course, you can also use trigonometry. That's mean you complete, you careful, you are not doing, how to say, you're going to complete this triangle, let me redraw the WX. Because some students, they confuse, they go and use the wrong triangle. Something you complete like that, then it's wrong. So that's why when you use trigo also, you need to know which three forces are you using. Okay, so but if you follow my idea, it's easier lah, in the sense that you see 30 degree touching WY. That means WY will be W cos 30. And then WX automatically will become W sine 30. This is how I explain to the student. Okay, so now we are wanting the idea of Wx and also frictional force. So what is a resultant force? Resultant force is a single force that combine two or more forces in vectors, sum of vector. Now, because frictional force is one of the directions, so I can assume frictional force at negative. Then this Wx is positive. Then weight, what is the weight of the object? Teacher have to go and see back the mass. So the mass is 420. Mass is 420. So I calculate first the weight. 420 times 9.81. So you get what value? Okay. So you will have 4120.2 here. So your net force in general, I write down the equation first, is actually Wx plus negative, or actually no need to negative, later only I put the value only, I put negative 10 plus frictional force, the general concept. Okay, so your Wx is what? Is W sine 30, which is 4120.2 sine 30. Then I plus negative 2060.1. Why I got negative? Because opposite direction, And then you will actually get the same number. So that means what is your resultant force? 0. Okay, so why do you have resultant force? Does it mean the object not moving? No, the object is moving. Okay, but they are moving at constant velocity. So for your understanding, if we want to have the resultant force, right? Okay, 0, there are two conditions. Either the object is at rest or they move with constant velocity or uniform velocity. Okay, so this is under Form 5 topic on resolution of force. Okay, number 3. Diagram 3.1 shows an uncalibrated thermometer used to measure the temperature of hot water in a beaker. What is the meaning of thermal equilibrium? So for thermal equilibrium to occur, we need to have two objects, one cold, one hot, and then they must be in thermal contact. So when the two objects thermal contact, the net heat flow is 0. That means example, the hot object supply 10 joule. Then the coal also give back 10 joule. So the net is 0. And finally, both objects will reach the same temperature. So this is the meaning of thermal equilibrium. Okay, then next, under this topic, there's only one formula that you all need to remember, where if let's say a thermometer is not calibrated means you do not have scale. So generally, the thermometer we use in lab already have the division, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 100 degrees Celsius. So if they are not calibrated, then you will learn one formula. So this is the general formula. We can also find the temperature at certain, like you immerse the thermometer in a liquid. But all this is the equation. Now you will have L theta minus L0 over L100 minus L0 times 100 degree Celsius. So this is the idea behind it. Now, why we need to minus L0, I will tell student, because from here to here, the idea is 100 division and 100 degrees Celsius as well. That's why we have one division is 1 degree Celsius, one in thermometer. Okay, so we need to eliminate the 2 cm of the L0. So now it will be easier. So generally, they want you to calculate temperature of hot water, so we straight away sub only. So your L theta is how many cm? The x actually. I can use x. Then you have 14 minus 2 over 18 minus 2 times 100 degree Celsius. So simplify 12 over 16, 100 degrees Celsius. Again, press calculator. So you're supposed to get 75 degree Celsius. Okay. Wait, I think teacher makes slight mistake. Is it? Let's check. Let's just see, is the schema wrong or the answer wrong? I think the schema not accurate. It's based on the diagram. So as LX is basically what? LX is 14 cm, okay? So supposingly, it will be assuming they are from the bottom, from the bottom. That's why you still need to minus the 2. Okay? Okay, so schema wrong, so be alert if you are referring the schema. Okay, C. The water is left until it's reached the room temperature. By using appropriate physics concept, explain the situation. So of course now your temperature is high, right? Okay. So of course slowly the temperature will decrease. Why the temperature decreases? You gain energy or lost energy. You lost the heat, right, to the surrounding. Then slowly you talk about the temperature decreases. And temperature is related to kinetic energy. Finally, you say kinetic energy also decreases. So any 2 points here, you actually get full marks. Okay, now we are in Form 5 topic on this electricity, electrical energy and power. Diagram 4 show a rice cooker with the power rating labeled. So what is the meaning of 240 volt 700 watt on the label of the rice cooker? So I will tell student, you really need to memorize if they come out this topic or they like to ask this as definition. So this idea is power. So what is power? Power is actually rate of energy dissipated in joule per second idea. So joule per second is equivalent to what? We just don't want to perform back the answer in terms of what, but we want the idea how much energy have been used or dissipated per second. So you have just transfer this idea into joule per second. So this is how you write. 700 joule energy is used or dissipated in 1 second. See or not? When it's connected to the power supply of 240 volt. This is the part that teacher want you all to be alert. That means you see joule already, joule per second. So you don't say 700 watt when it's connected, like you don't change anything. So it's like a pattern lah. So you just replace the value only lah. If you are using another appliances. Now, what is the energy changes that occur in rice cooker? So rice cooker, we need to supply with what? Electrical energy. But how you cook the food, you need heat, right? So that's why it's from electrical to heat. Now, next, give one way to increase the heat energy produced by the heating element. Okay, so in electricity, teacher always say you have two main idea which have opposite concepts. Where you need to have the understanding or sometimes we need resistance of the wire to be higher, like this heating element. What is the reason behind it? Because we want to have more heat produced, but then generally a lot of idea like cable or the wiring system transmission line we want more current to flow right? So that's why we need to have low resistance, therefore a high current flow. Okay, so therefore part 2 you alert is about heating element. Okay, so how do you increase the heat energy? You can make the wire thinner or you use a longer length. That's why you increase the number of turn of coil. Use a high resistivity wire or example nichrome wire. So this is the possible answer you give lah. Okay, then C1. The rice cooker in diagram 4 is used every day for 1 hour. Calculate energy consumption in 30 days in unit of kilowatt hour. So basically, just now, you know the power rating, it is 700 watt, right? Now, for understanding a kilowatt hour is actually another unit for the idea of energy. But we change this idea is because it's easier for calculation of electric bill compared to the idea of joule. Because if it's joule, the value become a lot. Okay, so we generally will change watt to become kilowatt by dividing 1,000. Then you have 0.7, and they already give you the idea of hour. So straight away, we just use 1 times 0.7. And then you have 0.7 kilowatt hour, right? And then times with 30 days. Hence, you have 21 kilowatt hour. So regarding the idea of cost, okay, they will tell you what this unit idea is also in kilowatt hour. So that's why we straight away use 21 times 0.218 cents. Then we will have the energy consumption. The cost is 4.58 ringgit, 58 cents in 30 days. Of course, you are not only using rice cooker in-house, right? Aircon, fan. That's why this is how we calculate for all the appliances. Now, next, one suggestion to save energy consumption when using the rice cooker. So the most basic one, or everyone can do one, is not only for rice cooker itself. You don't use the light, you don't use the aircon. What you do? You switch off. So the general idea, turn on the appliances when not in use. Okay, number 5. So as usual, 5 and 6 is comparison questions in SPM format. So you really need to identify the two given object that is being compared. So here they show you 2 satellites, PM, Q, evolve around Earth. So firstly, what is the meaning of mass? So mass is the quantity of matter contained in an object. Again, definitions are no other way, you have to memorize it. Okay, so now they want you to compare the mass of P and Q. Now, you see that in the diagram also give you the value. Okay, so it seems like easier lah. Okay, so 450 kg, same. Now, you can straight away write the word same, or you can just use the equal sign, also can. Then moving on about orbital radius. What is orbital radius? Orbital radius, this one, you need to know what is the meaning of orbital areas lah. So it's actually from here for P, and then this one is for Q. So which one is greater now? Q is greater or P is smaller. Then last idea is the orbital period. So if you notice, we have a few satellites that orbiting the Earth or planets orbiting the Sun as well. We will involving Kepler third law one. So you need to have some concept lah, because they do not show you period, all this. Also, people who do not have concept, it's a bit difficult for you all to compare, correct? So for your understanding, okay, Kepler third law state one. is saying that the square of the period is directly proportional to the cube of the radius. Yeah, and we will have the T1 square over R1 cube equals to T2 square over R1 cube when calculating the what means used for problem solving lah. So therefore their relationship is directly proportional. So when your R is increased, your period also will be increased. So hence for Q is all greater than P lah in the two quantity here. So this is how you write. Vice versa, you can write RQ more than RP also. Yeah, and I always say comparison questions memang is to help you gain marks. So when you're answering, right, give full answer. Don't straight away add P equals to Q, P more than Q, P less than Q. At least even you short form a bit lah, you have the R or indicator. But then because the question, they do not show the symbol R or T, right? So do not merely just use the symbol, get the idea? The best way is still you all write the full, follow this, okay? In SPM follow. Then what is the relationship? Directly proportional. You can use the term directly proportional. That means you say orbital's radius is directly proportional to orbital period, or you can use the word greater, increase. Now, what happened to the orbital period is mass of satellite P is increases. Now, generally, it will not change, right? Why? Because period is independent of mass of satellite. Now, we have one formula to calculate period. If we are given the mass of the planet, then also the equation used is actually T equals to T square equals to 4 pi square R cube over capital G, capital M. So this is a planet's punya mass. And this is the G, or the gravitational constant. Pi is the also constant. Okay, R is the orbital radius. So that's why T is actually affected by R only. This whole thing is actually constant, and there is no small m as well. So this is not affected. That's why it's not affected. Okay, E. If the satellite Q is at a distance of 170,060 meter from the center of the Earth, determine the orbital period. Now, you see, they're so nice. They give you the equation. Now, in case they do not give your equation, right, actually, nowadays SPM might have formula list. You're going to find out what is the formula. Okay, so you want to find this. Do you have this? Do you have this? You have the R. So you just sub lor. Okay, so for gravitation questions, teacher always say you all must be very careful and try to press a few times calculator. Okay, so this one, they memang straight away square root also. And when you write the square root also, you don't think never mind lah. Do you know if you write like that is wrong? Because you only square the top part and not the bottom part. Cannot also. Understand? So all these things, tiny one, you all don't like chin chai. And if your calculator is not like this form one, you cannot fill out everything, So you put bracket. And if you like always cannot get the answer correctly, and press too much, then you do the top part first, you get a value. Then bottom another value. Then only you divide. But of course, the value that you get, you do not round off too much. Okay, I also try to press, sometimes the schema also wrong, yeah. Okay, you also can do the same thing, now, like together with teachers, try to calculate it. If you press calculator, everything correct, okay, that means there is no problem in terms of pressing calculator. Sometimes it's like that. You may listen to me right now, and then, okay, you know the answer, yeah, like that. But you don't press it, you don't know whether you can do it or not. Okay, so it's important for you to get the answer lah. Okay, so you see I'm facing problem already. And then for this topic, memang it is important if you all can press a few times. Then you see when I put the 0, so I have to be very careful. How many 0 actually am I putting? press a few times. Really need to press a few times and then see the number that you put. Sometimes you see they got negative, like negative 11, right? You forgot to put the negative. It will affect the whole answer. So that's why gravitation topic is not hard. It's just that because the equation got square, cube, all this, and then nowadays students not really love to press calculator that much. So I try to get the answer ready. So if it is more accurate, if you were to write 0.4242 seconds. Nowadays, they really want more decimal point. I will encourage you to put more decimal point. Now, why they up to this range? Maybe sometimes you'll use a different pi. You can use a pi in the calculator. You can use 22/7. You can use 3.142. It's okay. That's why they have slight range. Okay, but decimal point you put more. Okay. Next questions. Question 6, again, a comparison questions, but this is under the topic for quantum physics on Einstein theory or photoelectric effect. So we have this 6.1, 6.2, both is also called photocell. They are irradiated by light with different wavelength and frequency. So when the light of certain frequency is illuminated to the cathode surface, electron is emitted. So what is this phenomenon? So this is more easier, right? They don't ask you define, but they ask you what phenomenon, what concept. So that's why there's no other way, a shortcut one. You want to capture the idea, you need to firm on each topic or each chapter. So this is how learning occurs and how you remember the idea. So if you learn this, then you know this what idea? Photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect, where it's only can be shown by light in a particle form. Okay. So now they want you to compare wavelength of green light. Okay, so the symbol for wavelength is this. So easier if you know the idea. So which one? Green light is longer. Then current, you can look at the millimeter. This one deflect less, this one deflect more. Okay, so wavelength 6.1 is bigger, but current 6.1 is less. Okay, so the main concept of under this chapter, right, is light exists in a particle form where we call it as photon energy. And then you will actually have the concept of photon energy E equals to what? HF. So generally, this energy is affected by frequency. So that's why now they ask you to calculate frequency of the blue light. And then compare. Okay, so the frequency of the blue light is, because they give you the green already. Okay, how do you get it? You remember use the formula what? C equals to F lambda, where C is speed of light, 3 times 10 power of 8. This one, the formula macam got mistake a bit. Never mind. I try to rearrange the equation. So generally, F is equals to C over lambda. Yeah. They rearranged correct already, sorry. Okay, so we put in, then we get this answer. Minimum 3 decimal point. So this value compared to this value. So the blue light is higher frequency. So for your understanding, frequency and wavelength is inversely proportional. We go back to this equation again. F equals to C over lambda. So when lambda increase, frequency decrease because speed of light is constant. Okay, and then teacher got mentioned, right? Higher frequency, higher energy. So this is the concept on this idea. So now they want you to relate all wavelength and frequency. So the relationship will be what? Okay, when wavelength increases, frequency decreases. You can also say wavelength is inversely proportional to frequency. Then idea of frequency, high frequency, more current. And lastly, what happened to the kinetic energy if intensity of light increases? Now, intensity idea means brighter. Now, generally, brightness will not affect kinetic energy one. Kinetic energy is affected by the frequency only, okay? What I mean, if you were to go through the concept 7.3 on Einstein theory, the photoelectric equation, right? Photon energy is equal to the work function plus K max. Then teachers say, this is actually HF. So when your frequency is high, your kinetic energy will be high as well. Okay, so that's why this understanding but intensity won't affect the kinetic energy. So that's why no change. So but what is affected by intensity? Okay, number of electron ejected in case photoelectric effect occurs. If photoelectric effect occurs, that means if you increase the intensity, more electron ejected lah. Now, but if no photoelectric effect occurs, that means how I increase the intensity of light, there will be no points one. You get what I mean or not? How bright it is, no electron means no electron will be emitted. So this is the concept of photoelectric effect. So I hope that you all can master this idea well lah. Number 7, diagram 7.1 show the national speed limit for heavy vehicle. Okay, you have this 90 km/h. That means you do not exceed this idea lah. Now, what is the meaning of speed? So speed is scalar quantity. Speed is actually rate of change of distance. Then on the calculation wise, a tanker accelerates from rest until it reaches a velocity of 80 km/h in 15 seconds. So calculate the displacement. So of course, you need to know all the symbol that involve all displacement is S. This rest, that means initial is what? 0. This is final velocity. And then you have time. So you have the 4 equation of linear motion. You have V equals to U plus AT, S equals to UT plus half AT square, S equals to half U plus V times T, and also V square equals to U square plus 2AF. Of course, formula list, they have, sometimes they will have only 3, one of it, normally the third one lah, tak ada lah. But depending lah, if they give you all, you can refer. Now, how do you all apply the formula for this 4 equation of linear motion? Same go for free fall. Free fall, we just change A to become G, S to become H only. So you see the variable that not involved, missing variable. You're supposed to have U, V, T, S, and one more, which is A. So like this one, you do not have what? S. This one, you do not have V. This one, you do not have A. This one, you don't have T. So actually, I will know I need to use this equation to solve the problem. If they give you all the 5 quantity, you can use any 3 of the formula out of the 4 formula here. Okay, so at least you all know how to find formula already. So S equals to half U plus V times T. Now, can I just straight away put in all the value? Teacher said cannot. You can. You must always see is everything in SI unit or not. What is the SI unit for velocity? Meter per second ma. Is it meter per second? No. So we have to do a step, changing kilometer per hour into meter per second. So how do you change it? Teacher will say, write in a fraction form. So we have 80 kilometer per 1 hour. So kilo is what? 1,000. 1 hour, how many seconds? 3600 seconds. This one is in meter already. Then I can change to meter per second. Now you don't change, that means you will tak dapat markah langsung lah. Maybe maximum they only give you 1 substitution marks only. Okay, so you will have 20.222 meter per second. Now I have everything in SI unit. Now I can start to sub. Half, 0, and then times 15. So finally, I will have 166.66666666. So 3 decimal point lah. So 1 mark is the changing of unit law. Second mark, correct substitution law. Third mark is final answer with correct unit. Yeah, so can recall back some of the idea in motion, right? Linear motion. Then question 7 is similar like these questions, section B punya essay questions, whereby they will give you some choice and then you choose which one is the best. The way how you answer is same like how you answer essay, just that shorter version only. Okay, so diagram 7.2 show a specification of 4 tankers, R, S, T, and U used to deliver flammable fuel. Okay, then based on the diagram 7.2, state the suitable characteristic of the tanker to deliver the fuel safely. So in terms of number of tank, should you be only one or more is better? Okay, so the idea more is better than one, because when you have more compartment, you make it like divider, or so the mass become less for each part like that. Then you will reduce the effect of inertia. Then next idea is the distance between the tanker and the head, which means this gap. So should you move it closer, or there is a gap? There need to be a gap. What? So because when you turn, you go to the corner, you need to have some distance, right? So obviously now our answer will be S. Now, same like essay, once you choose correctly, right? Then you will have 3 out of 5 marks, because choice correct. You say this one distance is big lah, and then more tanks. But we may not give the correct reason lah. But then if you got the correct reason as well, you get higher marks or 5 marks. Why many tanks? Reduce the effect of inertia. Low mass. The distance is far away or big. Increase the impact or decrease the impulsive force, which means when they accidentally collide to the front. Okay, you can say like that. Then our choice is S. You don't like you memang choose S, then you go and write T or U. So be careful also. You need to check your answer. Okay, number 8. Number 8 is under Form 5 electronic idea on diodes. Okay, so what is the region? Shaded part here is actually called depletion region. What is depletion region? Is a region where there is no charge over here. Why? Because when P is actually extra hole. And I always tell students hole is have a net positive charge. And N-type material that have electrons, excess of electron. So when this electron go and join to the hole on the other side, they will leave a region where there is no charge. So when they have this no charge occurs, right? Then this E already filled up here, so they will full with negative. Now this one left positive. So they will become like a small voltage in between. And we call this as junction voltage. To overcome this junction voltage, we will later on need to have this external help, which is the battery to drag the electron across if you want to overcome this depletion region. So if you want the electron to move across here, what do you think the terminal for the left-hand side? This is concept. So you want to drag over here, right? Who will attract electron? Positive terminal. Get it? This is the idea. And then negative, if let's say hole are able to move, then your hole will be dragged towards here. So the end result is you can make this region smaller, thinner. Then current flow. And this connection is also called what? Forward bar. Yes. Now, because I want you to have a better understanding for the following part, what if now, if teacher terbalikkan this battery punya terminal, so now become this one positive here, negative here. So electron will seem drag here, correct? If hole are able to move, they will drag here. So what happened to this depletion region? This depletion region is actually become wider. That's mean your junction voltage, they are more difficult to actually overcome this region. So hence your resistance is so high that no current flow, no current. So this connection is called for reverse bias. Reverse bias. Reverse bias means no current flow. So why you need to know this? Because this is the function of diode. They only allow current to flow in one direction. Okay, now you will have a better understanding when I talk about forward bias and reverse bias then. Okay. Now, so general idea of diode is allow one current to flow in one direction. But another usage of diode is actually changing AC to DC. This process is called rectification. So how it works? Initially, you have this alternating current. This is your input, So normally we're assuming alternating current, they work like this. They will keep on changing their terminal every half cycle. So initially, I have positive, negative. Now, so for your understanding, just now we have the N-type, P-type, right? Correct? P and N. So triangle part is actually p-type and is negative. So when p-type connect to positive terminal, n-type connect to negative terminal, this connection is actually forward bias. If forward bias, that means you will produce the wave. That means after I come out, right, I got this wave. Then what happens is next half cycle, right, they will become negative positive. So, I interchange the battery. Remember just now I said if I terbalik the battery terminal, what happened, right? Then I say depletion region increase, right? So this is the idea where it becomes reverse. Reverse means I no more have this, so I have flat. Then this is reverse bias. Then again forward. So because only half of the wave being cancelled out, that's why more accurate, if one diode, we will say half wave rectification. You can have full wave. Full wave, we need to have at least 4 diodes. Later on, the next part or the idea of expect one you can do. So this is how you explain during first half cycle, diode is forward bias, current flow. Second half, reverse bias, current not flow. C. Fatima want to charge her smartphone that use direct current. And this diagram shows the electronic circuit of an adapter unit of alternating current AC. So how many number of diode used? Now, of course, when you all learn, you memang learn about halfway using 1 diode, full wave using 4 diode. Generally, 2 diode also can, but then easier because we follow what we always learn in textbook 4 diodes. So why 4 diode? Because you will produce full wave rectification. So just now, initial on the previous page is like that, right? Full wave, it will have like that. So of course, it will be more efficient compared to half wave one, because all the part also have. And then the arrangement of the diode, they will draw, you need to draw a diamond shape. Normally, the given diode, right, the criteria, the two that parallel to each other, they must be same direction. This is your idea. They will look like this one, full wave rectification. And then the diode, the transformer used in this circuit is what? The transformer used in this circuit will be step up or step down. They want a lower voltage, right? So you need to use step down. The reason, decrease the output voltage. And lastly, what you need to add in. Now, so for your understanding, when I would to have this full wave, right, this is not suitable yet to be used one. Why? Because you have this zero moment. So generally, we call this current not steady. So how do we make this current steady? We need to add a capacitor. So capacitor, how it works is when there is current, they will charge. No current, they will release the charge. So how you draw the output, I always tell students, you need to show the dotted line. Why? So we will know it's a full wave or half wave. So again, when we added the capacitor already, right, when there's current that is charging one, then until the peak, right, they're going to drop to 0, but they won't drop to 0, they drop slightly because you have the capacitor to release charge, then charge again, release charge, charge again, release charge. So your end result is you will see a line. So this is also the steady current. So in general, how we say the function of capacitor to smooth out the current, use as smoother. Smoothen the output current. Yeah, we finished the section A. So we'll proceed to essay now. So essay for section B, you have question 9 and 10. You memang can choose one, but in SPM, you answer all is acceptable. But read through both questions, see which one you have a better concept, solve it first, and also finish the question 11, then only proceed if you want to answer the extra questions. So diagram 9.1 show a motorcycle with 2 side mirrors. So this is under Form 4 chapter, like on this image formation by spherical mirror 6.6. So what is the mirror use? Now, side mirror, whether in a motorcycle or in car, what is the function? You want to see the back part, is there any car behind you, right? So the general concept is the image of the car always changes or not? Which means will the image that you see in the mirror upright, then suddenly inverted, then suddenly enlarged, suddenly becomes smaller? Wouldn't one, right? Okay. So which mirror actually will always have a similar characteristic? Those mirror is actually called convex mirror. Convex mirror. If lens, then it's concave lens. Okay, so using a suitable method, explain how the image form on the spherical mirror. So to get this idea, the best method is actually using drawing. Okay, so how it works using drawing. First, you draw the principal axis. Next, you sketch the shape of the convex mirror lah. Not nice, okay, no worry. So convex mirror is the one that outward the surface. Next, you assume more up to you, about 2 cm or 3 cm, you write F, and then another 2 more cm, you write C. Same go for this side, F, C. Must be same distance, you really measure according to the length. Next, convex mirror, doesn't matter. Where is your object? Very close to the mirror girl, at F girl, between F and 2F girl, at C girl, more than C girl, you will have the same result one for the image. Okay, so I put a bit of the distance now. Okay, so how should you complete the diagram? Now, convex mirror concave lens have similarity in the sense that after the phenomenon, right, the ray will actually diverge. Okay, so whatever also, I always tell students, because you have lens, you have mirror. The key idea is you must always know what phenomenon. Then the next thing is the ray converge or diverge. So mirror, the ray is encounter reflection or refraction. Reflect, that means they will bounce. But will they diverge or converge? Convex mirror, they will diverge. But I cannot simply diverge with any angle. My reference point is here, so dotted, go up. Then, by right here, you should do dotted line, because the ray won't pass through the mirror, understand? Okay, so is it a must? Now, of course, it's encouraged. If you know the concept, you do accordingly, like how teacher show you exactly the same. Then next ray is, they're going to cut C, same point as F location. Your F is on the right-hand side, right? C also right-hand side. So you're going to cut C. But then upon this surface, you bounce back already. So I also need to dotted, the one that behind. So where is your intersection point? Is here. So this is the image form. Make sure it's an arrow again. So what is the characteristic? They're formed by dotted ray. That means they are virtual, they are upright. And what happened to the size? Is it small or big compared to the object? Smaller, right? So we call it diminish. Now, of course, they only need one, so you can write any of one of it. Now, the answer scheme one, they put it on more than this C or not, but you see the result is still same. So that's why convex mirror or concave lens, right? They don't care where you put your object. Your characteristic of the image and the way how you construct the ray is always similar, not like a convex lens and also concave mirror. You have 6 different positions, then you have the boom, boom, rim, straight, red. Teacher always say one, if you follow my idea. Calculation. Diagram 9.2 shows a convex lens placed at distance 60 cm in front of the plane mirror. And then a candle is placed at the distance of 20 cm from the plane mirror. Focal length of the convex lens is 25 cm. Okay, based on the diagram, calculate the image distance of the candle formed by the convex lens. Okay, so actually they involve 2 ideas. One is plane mirror, one is the convex lens one. So, but now they want the image distance, V lah. And do you have object distance, all these? So we label all the idea clearly first. So they say the focal length is about 25. So I assume here is F lah. And what is actually your object distance? Your object distance is from where to where? Object distance is basically from object to the lens. So they tell you the whole line is 60 ma. So how I get the U? U is actually 40 cm. So I have a focal length 25 cm, object distance 40 cm, and also image distance is what I want to find. So I will use lens formula. 1 over F equals to 1 over U plus 1 over V. Now I want to find 1 over V. So it's 1 over F minus 1 over U. So your F is 25, U is 1 over 40. You will have 1 over V equals to, press calculator lah. 3 over 200, but this is not our answer. We want V. So you inverse it, okay? 200 divided by 3, you're supposed to get 66.667 cm. Okay, now for your understanding, convex lens, you no need to worry about the focal length because they are positive. But in case this question changed to concave lens about calculation wise, and you need to use lens formula again, right? For concave, you have to put negative for focal length. Okay. But this one not affected lah, okay, just for your understanding only. Okay, next one. Now they want you to find the distance of the image by plane mirror and image by the convex lens. Now, how do we get the idea of image from the mirror? So you're supposed to learn lower form lah. They're supposed to have the same distance. So this is the image of the candle on the mirror, right? But where is the image of the lens of? So should it same side or opposite side? So for your understanding, I always tell you all about the rate, right? So if your candle is less than focal length, then it's case 1. This is case 2. So F plus F, 2F is 50 cm. If 40 less than 50, yes, so this is actually case 3. And then you have at this idea of 2F, more than 2F. So we don't see until there lah. We only until case 3. Also, we have rim 1. Rim means the image is real. So for lens, right, real image will form after the lens or behind the lens, somewhere over here. So this distance is how much? 66.667. You calculate one. Now your questions want you to get the distance from here up to here. Okay? So we have this part, how much? 20. This much is 60. So, and this is 66.667. So plus together, then you will get about 146. This is the answer. Okay, I show back the diagram. Okay, so be careful what they want you to find. Okay, move on. We have the idea of you need to choose. So diagram 9.3, what show an ATM machine. To increase the security, a spherical mirror should be installed on the machine. And you're required to investigate the characteristic of the mirror. Now, what type of mirror is suitable to be used? Generally, you should use what? Convex mirror. So why do we use convex mirror? Generally because you can what? Widen the field of vision. Some technical issue. Okay, so for part D, diagram 9.3 show an ATM machines. To increase security, a spherical mirror should be installed on the machine. You're required to investigate the characteristic of the spherical mirror as shown in table 9. Okay, so first you need to know what type of mirror is suitable. Now, our idea about using this mirror is to see the surrounding, okay? Is there any people, okay, following you, correct? Not right. So that's why we need to have wider field of vision. If wider field of vision, automatically what mirror should we use? We should use convex mirror. So the idea of concave will be wrong lah, right? So now your choice towards the correct answer is there. Okay, then other than that, we see other aspect. Okay, so should the thing to be on top? Yes, both also on top. Now, what is mean by diameter of mirror? So this is big diameter, this is small diameter. So we want more light to pass through or not? Yes, right? So that's why we will prefer the one that had bigger diameter. So automatically now we know the choice already. Okay, Y is also not suitable because it's too short. And next, number of mirror, we also need to have more in the sense that we can view in different angle lah. Yeah, so once you know the choice, memang you will do a table, and then we only focus on what to explain in W will do, not other part. Okay, so the answer will be, this is the way you need to construct the table. Convex mirror Y produce wider view of vision or wider field of visions. And then on top of the machine, the view is not blocked. Bigger diameter, wider field of vision, more mirrors, different or more angle of view. Lastly, we say W is chosen as it is convex mirror. Position is on the top of the machine and have bigger diameter and more number of mirrors. Then next question, question 10, essay questions. So you can choose either 9 or 10. So this one is under Form 5 topic on transformer. So what is the function of step-down transformer? So the idea simple is to reduce the alternating output voltage. Now, how the working principle of transformer? So I give you all some idea first. So generally, when we supply current, what happened to this part? Primary. This part is called secondary. Okay, secondary. So in the primary, when we supply current, right, they automatically will produce magnetic field. Oh, I think I draw one will do. Okay, so what happened to this field? They will actually collapse due to the idea of changing in the terminal of battery after the half cycle. Then later on, they will produce again, then collapse again. So as you can see, when this happens continuously, the secondary coil, it will cut the field, right? So therefore, electromagnetic induction occur in secondary coil, and the cutting of magnetic flux induce EMF in secondary coil. So this is the concept also. We see how you should answer in exam lah. So current flow through primary coil. See, the soft iron core magnetized. Alternating current in primary coil produce changing magnetic field. Now, this only occurs if you supply alternating current. If you supply direct current, that means the field will stay there. That means maximum secondary coil will only cut once, and it will be too less EMF to produce, or you can say no EMF produced lah. And there is a change of magnetic flux in secondary coil. Why? Because your field keep on cutting, like just now teacher show you all. And induced EMF is produced in secondary coil. And then induced EMF will cause induced current to produce. So this is the idea. Okay, then move on. We have the next calculation part, 5 marks questions. Okay, so again, let's find out what is given to you. The transformer in diagram 10.1 is connected to 240 volt power supply to light up the bulb of 36 watt 18 volt in a secondary circuit with normal brightness. Normal brightness means if the bulb needed 18 volt, I supply 18 volt. If they only need 6 volt, I supply 6 volt. So this is mean by normal brightness. And then the secondary turns is 30. So they want you to calculate the primary turn. So we can relate the idea by using what? MP over NS equals to BP over BS. So this is, I don't know. NS, do I have? Yes, 30 turns, right? And then the primary, this is primary, this is secondary voltage. Okay, so therefore MP equals to 240 divided by 18, then we time with 30. Then you get your answer. So should be 400 turns off. Then next part under this question is they want you to calculate the primary circuit, the current in primary circuit. And here they're saying that this is ideal. Ideal means your output power should be equal to input power where there is no loss of energy. So we will have VP, output is secondary. VS, IS equals to VPI. P lah, but they want me to find IP. So you can rearrange first. IP means VS. What is your secondary voltage and all? This one, because you can straight away use output straight away. So we can also use 36 straight away. Then divide by 240 lor, and you will get 0.15 ampere. Let's counter check the answer. Okay, so this is how you solve the questions. So in transformer, we either use the formula like teacher showed you just now, MP over NS equal VP VS, and then out over in punya concept, or one more formula which is efficiency. Efficiency is out over in times 100%. So the out in you can always change to VI idea lah. So this is the idea. That's it. No other calculations are in transformer already. Okay. Next, D. Diagram 10.2 shows a phone charger that contains a transformer to reduce 240 volt of input voltage to 6. And the phone charger heat up easily and cannot charge the phone quickly. So these are some of the characteristics, and you are required to study the suitability of each characteristic and determine the model that does not heat up. Why is it heat up? Because the efficiency is not high enough lah, means they lost energy ma. Okay, so they reduce the efficiency of transformer. Okay, so in terms of ratio, we need to see your input and output. So your input is 240 volt. Your output is 6 volt. So memang to find out the ratio, you can straight away show the calculation or equation. That means I want MP is to NS is equals to VP is to VS equals to 240 is to 6. Then you have 40 is to 1. So obviously you get this right. Okay. It seems like you don't need to do any more idea already. Because calculation you already get it. Now, type of core, why do we use soft iron core? Because easily magnetized. So soft iron core doesn't mean the iron is very soft. It's just telling you the ability to become magnet very fast. So the moment I supply current, they become magnet. So the moment I cut off current, they also not become magnet very quick. Other metal also can use as electromagnet. It's just that they take time to magnetize and they take time to be magnetized. Then laminated means it's like layer cake. Or I always tell students, you actually cut, and then you paste it back. The reason is to reduce the current that actually cause in the core itself. We want the current to flow in the coil, but not in the core. So when you have more, it also will loss at heat lah. So again, not that efficient. And lastly, do you notice that coil together, because whatever field that produced by primary straight away cut by secondary. So obviously we choose Q lah. Now, so among all these, this, even though it's showing number, right? So teacher generally tell you, if show number, you only describe big or small. So for this ratio of number of tone, I will advise you all to give the actual number, because you cannot change, or I cannot write 50 is to 1. Like bigger ratio is not so accurate. But among this table, of course, 40 is to 1 compared to 20 is to 1. 40 is to 1 is a bigger ratio. But then I think for number of turn, you all should directly write the ratio itself lah. So this is how you write. You say 40 is to 1 to produce the output voltage of 6 volt, or just show the calculation like how I showed just now. Soft iron core, like I say, easily magnetize, demagnetize, or reduce power loss due to hysteresis. Now, if you do not know the term hysteresis, it means same meaning as this whole thing, so easily magnetized and demagnetized. Then laminated, reduce eddy current, but indirectly means they reduce power loss. Then the arrangement Y secondary on top of primary, reduce plug leakage. And lastly, you say you choose Q due to all the characteristic you picked just now lah. Yeah, so we actually done with the next essay questions. So the last essay questions is under wave. So diagram 11.1 and 11.2 show patterns of wavefront in a ripple tank with different frequency. So what is the meaning of wavefront? So as you can see in the diagram, the line that you see all this is actually called wavefront. And then the distance here is called wavelength. So what is wavefront is actually imaginarily line that joins all points at the same phase in a wave, okay? Line that join all the points, so we see this. Okay, then for last question in essay, we always have 5 marks comparison questions. And you always make it a habit by underline or highlight. First, you compare incident angle. One thing, compare wavelength. Second thing, compare frequency. Third, then next is always relate like hypothesis way of wavelength and frequency. Fourth idea. Lastly, incident angle and wavelength. Therefore, you should have 5 ideas. So you also can do in point form. So look at the incident angle first. Incident angle same or not same for both diagrams? Same. Then you just say same, but you cannot just write same. Then what is same or is it wavelength, frequency or what? So essay confirm you write like that, memang no marks one. You must be clear. What and what is same? The incident angle is 2 terms. Okay. So now teacher show the idea one by one. So incident angle, this is how you write. In diagram 11.1 is the same as diagram 11.2. Next, wavelength in 11.1 is more than in 11.2. Frequency, they give you what, 30, 50. So 11.1 is less. You memang can use the symbol greater, smaller, and equal sign. You only cannot use arrow up, arrow down because it is not common use also. Then lastly, bigger wavelength and smaller frequency. Now, is incident angle affect the wavelength? Both also same angle one, but they are not affect so that's why incident angle does not affect wavelength. So you get 5 marks for this whole questions. Now, proceed, we have the applications idea. This is application of ultrasound. Echo reflector on ship is used to determine the depth. So how does it work? Based on your knowledge of wave phenomenon and appropriate concept, explain how sonar is used to determine the ocean depth. So you see there is a transmitter in the diagram good, they will give you the signal transmitter and signal detector. Now, in case they didn't give you diagram and they straight away say, okay, explain how how you determine the depth of the seabed. So you must always have the words transmitter detector. These 2 words is a very important terms. So transmitter, what is the function? To emit the ultrasonic wave and when they reach the seabed, they are reflected. Then after the reflected wave will be received or detected by who? Detector. Now, what is the purpose of transmitter and detector? They actually used to measure or record the time taken. When you have the time taken, the speed of the wave in water is known what. So you can calculate using 2D equals to VT idea. So you see transmitter emit the frequency that more than 20 Hertz. Then they hit the seabed already reflected. Then the detector receive ultrasound wave. Then the time is recorded. Then that is calculated based on the formula D equals to VT divided by 2. Yeah, so this is conceptual questions, but this is how you gain the marks. Okay, last on these open-ended questions on this section C is the 10 marks questions. Diagram 11.4 show a solar oven used to cook rice, and it was found that the rice was not fully cooked even if it was left for a longer time. Hence, you need to use appropriate physics concept, explain how to build an efficient solar oven, and your description should include the type of material, color, and other features. Now, so all these idea, you all like they memang give macam limited kan type of material, color, other features. So somehow if you see 10 marks, there's no other way one. You need to find a minimum 5 expect. Now, how can you find more ideas since the questions is like limited, right? Sometimes they're good, they might tell you what to modify, like 5 points or 6 points. You see the label part. So this label part is the things that you can use to modify. Okay, so example, idea, outer layer. Do you think what color it is? Dark. Why? You want to absorb heat. Inner layer normally is a reflectable shine. Understand? Why? You want to reflect heat now. Then the reflector. Will this plane reflector, the heat, example from far, you strike here, directly hit it, so better you focus, right? Focus on the pot. So that's why you use a curved surface one, or we say concave surface. And if you want to have more idea, just give your idea as long as your answer is not contradict. Okay, so now teacher show the answer. So you may place a transparent glass, so you can have more light straight away enter and then heat up the food. Okay, then you see the material for the reflector mirror, aluminum foil, silver coating, shiny. Why? Reflect light, shiny inner layer, reflect heat. Okay, now black outer layer, good absorber of heat or more heat absorbed. The base should make with the material of low specific heat capacity lah. High increase in temperature or temperature increase faster. Material of the outer layer should be wood because wood is high specific capacity where they prevent heat loss. Double layer wall, their purpose also they can trap more heat and then high increase of temperature. And lastly, you can also put the parabolic shape of reflector or in the inner layer. So the idea is like that. When your inner is like this, that means your light all will shine and reflect inside. So instead of you put the reflector there lah. Okay, then they can converge and focus heat. So this type of open-ended question, if you are a good student, teacher always encourage, try to give more answer, more reason, as long as the answer not contradict. What is mean by not contradict? Like you say outer is black already, right? You don't go and say, oh, the outer should be white. Now this is opposite answer, right? Then even though one of it is supposed to be correct answer, both is no marks. But you adding something or the idea not really linked to the concept or like not related lah, or they generally won't minus marks because of the idea that not meet lah the questions punya specification. Get the idea? So you good student, try to give more. And then those of you who weak also, somehow you need to give at least 5 aspect. Yes, so now we actually have done with this paper 2. So I see you in another set of paper. Thank you. Bye-bye.